Killbot and Requiem are two of the most interesting levels in JordanTRS history. From the stories behind the levels to the controversies they started, these two levels have a really big story to tell. So today, we're going to be pulling back the curtain and going through the full story behind these two legendary demons. The story of Killbot doesn't actually start with Killbot, but rather with a level called Chaotic Machine. Chaotic Machine was a 1.9 hack demon created by Constar. Later on in 2.0, on June 30th, 2016, JordanTRS legitimately verified and uploaded the level to his account, and it got raided. The level itself shows many similarities to Killbot, with both levels having the same basic structure. Killbot was actually originally going to be a remake of Chaotic Machine, but as production of the level continued, the level became its own thing. Production of Killbot started around mid-2017, with the first preview being uploaded on June 15th, 2017. With someone named ChiliusTB set to be the verifier, Lithifusion continued working on Killbot throughout the summer, and eventually finished the level around late July of 2017. However, not everything was going to plan, and the first of many dramas had already begun. On July 20th, the same day that the final Killbot preview was released, ChiliusTB was kicked from verifying Killbot and was replaced by Atomic. This is apparently due to the fact that Chilius had not yet completed Bloodbath, as well as a multitude of other reasons. However, Lithifusion made the mistake of not telling Chilius about this, so once Chilius eventually found out he wasn't verifying anymore, he was understandably upset. One thing led to another, and the whole situation spun completely out of control. Especially when Lithifusion uploaded a video basically shitting on Chilius. Atomic told Lithifusion to take down the video, which he did. However, it was too late. The damage had already been done, and Atomic ended up dropping the level because of the drama. After Atomic dropped Killbot, the level went to someone named Sills around the 1st of August, and he managed to get 23% before dropping the level himself due to Killbot being barely out of his skill range. Killbot then went to JordanTRS on September 6th, and he went on to create the infamous super buff version. He managed to get 45% before dropping himself for the simple reason that the super buff version was simply way too hard. The level then went to Bold Step on October 26th, and not even 10 days later on November 3rd, Killbot was finally verified after going through 5 different verifiers. It wouldn't take too long for a sequel to Killbot to start production, as on November 10th, 2017, the first preview for Requiem was uploaded. Requiem wasn't originally going to be the sequel to Killbot, it was instead going to be its own thing. In fact, the first part of Requiem was even built by Lithifusion, but instead by someone named Fardreamer. The original plan was to have a real sequel based on another level by Constar, this time being Rupture. However, a combination of multiple factors and events would completely change these plans, and would lead to Lithifusion eventually making the decision to make Requiem his final level. On December 13th, 2017, one of Lithifusion's online friends named David committed suicide. While Lithifusion and David weren't close friends by any means, it still hit Lithifusion pretty hard. This combined with outside pressure from the JordanTRS community eventually caused Lithifusion to cancel all his other projects, including a true sequel to Killbot based on Rupture by Constar, who at this point had changed his name to Jekko. In the end, Requiem became the sequel to Killbot because it was, quote, a way to link the two stories together since they represent events followed by another. Requiem is the result of Killbot. Things would go quiet surrounding Requiem after the first preview. While Lithifusion was still working on the level in the background, he wasn't making any previews, and he wasn't revealing much in terms of information about the level. It wasn't until September of 2018 that we would get some information about Requiem, and it came from an unlikely source. On June 28th, 2018, JordanTRS released his super buff version of Killbot as a sort of community challenge, stating in the description of the video that the winner would get a prize. Despite this, no one really attempted the level, that is, until Xylonox entered the picture. Xylonox had already beaten the original Killbot back in January of 2018, and by August he had set his sights on the super buff version. He started streaming the level on Twitch, and eventually got a 97% fail on August 24th, before finally completing the level on September 12th. About 2 weeks later, on September 25th, Xylonox is named the official verifier of Requiem after approaching Lithifusion about getting the role. However, Requiem wasn't completed yet, so Xylonox would have to wait before he could finally get his hands on the level. Requiem was finished around November of 2018, and Xylonox immediately started working on optimizing and balancing the level. However, not even a month later, on December 3rd, he was kicked from verifying the level. There are conflicting stories as to why this happened. Xylonox claims he was kicked because he would roleplay, and Lithifusion claims it was because Xylonox would share his sexual fantasies, although there are no sources backing this up other than Lithifusion's word. Nevertheless, Requiem was now without a verifier, and no one seemed to be willing to step up to the challenge. So on January 6, 2019, Lithifusion hacked verified the level and uploaded it as an open verification to the servers. Exactly 20 days later, Xylonox legitimately verified the level, uploading it to his account and putting an end to the story of Requiem. When taking all of the drama and aftermath into account, were these levels worth all the trouble they caused? Honestly, it's really hard to say. Most people have mixed feelings for these two levels, and while most people know about Killbot, nowhere near as many know about Requiem. But in the end, we're only left with 2 levels and a story. And that story is probably one of the most interesting and controversial stories in JordanTRS history.